apart from the SRTLFs, this is what I call an emergency frequency. You can use it in so many different ways. So we will explore some of the ways. And I think, this is only me, I think every household should have one. Because if the system gets into an emergency state, you know, where the panic-to-calm will break that state. And it will do that for everyone. So we will explore some of the uses. So for panic attacks. Panic attacks are, can anybody ever had a panic attack? Yeah. You have a panic attack. I don't know it because I haven't had it, but I can feel slightly panicky, but it's not a panic attack. But a panic attack is extremely debilitating and very frightening. And what happens with that is if you place it on the solar plex, because the panic attack doesn't start from here, it starts from here. It starts from the belly. And the belly has its own reasons and its own power. It's very difficult to break that power and strength that resides in those energy centers. The panic-to-calm frequency will do that for you. Just place it on the belly button and just wait. The person's breathing will ease, everything will ease and come down to normal fairly rapidly. The same thing appears for fear, for tension, all the things that happen at the level of the belly. Also for hyperactivity, hyperactive kids, you just give it to them to hold. Fiona, how do you use it for your little one, you said?
2.5-year-old little boy, and what I've noticed is he's at that age when he suffers struggles in this separation, and when they kick off, it's, you know, it is in that point of they're just locked on the, you know, you're going, and quite often I'll just put the panic-to-calm into his hand, and it's not that he stops feeling what he feels, but he calms down enough that we can then have a conversation. Mm-hmm. So it takes it from that complete frenzy of, you know, upset, panic, or even if it's in a tantrum space, similar thing where he can't understand why he can't have something, it just takes the edge off, and then you can actually, he'll get to a point that you can actually talk to him and he can hear you, because when he's in that space, like most 2 to 3 year olds, he just can't hear you. So yeah, it just, from that, it's great because you can just manage transitions. If I'm having to go, it doesn't get stressful, I just put it in his hand and off I go, and that's it.
Yeah. So if you can break a tantrum straight with a little kid,
yeah, what
else can you do with it? Thank you. Thank you. When you told me that, because I hadn't thought of that. But now when our kids were little, if they get into a tantrum, they didn't get a panic-to-calm, you know. But hyperactivity and fragmented attention, these are very real things also, and the children can really suffer with that and not be able to perform. Or you can be an adult and hyperactive as well. You know, you don't have to be a kid to do it. But also it helps with hiccups, headaches, cramps. If I get cramps in the night, I always have panic-to-calm by my bedside because I occasionally get cramps, and cramps are very painful. So I just put the panic-to-calm on the cramp itself, and it goes within a minute or two. It works also with insect bites, stings, bee stings, which are again, these are painful things, and you can get swelling and you can get all sorts of things happen. If you manage to put the panic-to-calm very quickly over there, the swelling will disappear. In fact, one of my master practitioners in Sweden, she was going to the post office, and she went headlong into a very hard glass door, and she injured her, you know, her face was injured because her teeth went into her lips or whatever, and the thing swelled. Unfortunately, she funnily enough had the panic-to-calm that day, which she doesn't normally, she said she doesn't normally have it. So she put it on, and she thought she wouldn't be able to do anything after that, she would have to go home. But the shock dissipated quickly, and she was able to do it, and the swelling disappeared. So that is why I like this frequency a lot. So there we go. Next. This is an illustration. This is my very good friend Barbara. And she was having a challenge with some person in a business environment. And he was a lawyer, and he was going to sue her or something because whatever, for some complicated reasons. So when she came to see me, she said, I feel very panicky, you know. And so we said, okay. So this is her baseline photograph, which is incoherent, which is the photograph on the left. And then I made her hold the legal papers. Look what happens to her. She becomes completely incoherent. She could feel the panic. She says, every day when I get up, I get the first thought that comes into my head is this problem. And then she holds the same papers with the panic-to-calm frequency, and look what happens. She becomes coherent. Now the interesting thing is, after that session, her different set of options appeared, and then she was able to go through a mediation, and everything was settled nicely. But when the panic is there, your decision-making, what do you think are your decision-making powers when you're in a panic? Yeah, not only are they're not zero, they're bad news. You will make all the wrong decisions because you can't help it. So it'll break that cycle of helplessness and give you a real choice. But that is its use. Now, I think in my last book, what I said was that which I'm going to correct in the next few slides, is what I said was that the panic-to-calm is not a realization mechanism. It's a relief mechanism. It's not a resolution mechanism. So it gives you relief, but it doesn't resolve. I will have to amend that slightly, and you will see why.
If you held the panic to
and the green RTLF.
red.
Yeah, those are what that's a crisis pack.
Yeah,
If you have the RTLFs and you have a panic-to-calm, and if you use the green RTLF in your left hand and the panic-to-calm somewhere else, that is also a crisis management thing.
So it helps to sort it out?
Yes, very often. Also with pain and stuff. And also if there's a physical crisis, if you can break that cycle, as Colette said very clearly, when you hold the two together.
Very strong.
Yeah, but that's one way you can use them. This is the important thing. For me, this came to me quite late, so it's not even in this book. It's the belly brain and the panic-to-calm as a tool for transformation. In all the Eastern traditions, whether it is the Chinese tradition as in the Dantian, the Hara in the Japanese tradition, the Kundalini in the Hindu tradition, these are all the lower centers, lower energy centers where there is enormous power in those centers. And the thing is, in the Western tradition, that is not generally understood. So in the West, we say if you open your heart, that's the thing. But you know something, if these centers are closed, your heart and are in fear, the heart will find it very difficult to open and be loving and appreciative. Yeah. Don't you think?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing is to find out the power that resides in the belly brain, because the power there is absolutely beyond imagining. So the belly brain, please understand the power that resides there. It is unimaginable. The thing is, also our unconscious fears reside there, in the same place. So there's this potential, and there are these fears. The fears are not easy to remove because they are not conscious. So when we use the belly brain, when we use the panic-to-calm as a tool for transformation, this is what I feel or think, is that we are going to make them now The thing is, at the moment, the way we have them is in a tiny little gray pouch with a drawstring, and you can't wear them because they are not like a pendant. They're quite big and solid. So the thing is, what we will do is we will have a little pouch with a zipper, just like you have for the SRTLFs, and then you can pin it, you know, to your trousers or to somewhere in that area, and use it for a while. The thing is, please remember also one thing: it can make you tired. So if you get very tired, remove it. But you're training the belly brain to be calm. If your belly brain is calm, then you can use that power at your will. If it's not calm, you will not be able to access it. That's the bottom line. You cannot access this kind of power easily anyway. But if your system is calm, and the belly brain, it's the belly brain which has to be calm. I'll give you a little, just as something to try out on your own. Whenever I get perturbed about anything, if I sit and just focus here and calm this place, calm the belly side, the belly brain, everything falls into place. The thoughts that you have, the feelings that you have, everything will change, and the universe will change for you. Try it out, even without the Panic-To-Calm, because you all have the SRTLFs. But with the Panic-To-Calm, if you want to really train your belly brain, then that is what I would use.